Hello my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Today we are taking a look at Tracer vs King's Row, how you play her on King's Row, which is one of the more interesting map for her since we will be focusing a lot on how to dominate with high gun control, which is incredibly, and how to access backlines and also harass tanks. It's gonna be a very fun video. I'm gonna very early show a jump on third point to kind of show you guys some high control over there. The more advanced tracers will probably already know about it, but because I know most of you guys don't watch to the end of the videos, having such an important jump in the end of the video makes no sense, since most of you guys won't see. So I'll take that in the beginning, and then we'll start from the start of the map. Now, as always, before we start, I need to get through my plugs. As always, I'm very sorry, guys. As always, I stream on Twitch. I'll link that in the description. I'm probably starting Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the upcoming week. Hopefully, I'll start then. But besides that, as always, if you want to hire me as a private coach, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Doesn't matter what rank you are, if you're top 500 or if you're bronze. Doesn't matter what you play on, if it's a console or anything like that. As long as you can get a bot to me, then we can set up a session, hopefully help you rank up and improve. So hit me up on our Discord server, which is where I also got this submission. And I would like to hear from you guys. What maps do you guys want to see? What heroes on those maps do you want to see? So I know what maps to break down first. That's why we kind of took a little bit of a break. We did some Genji on some different maps. Now Tracer was requested. What do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see Pharah, Hanzo, more Genji, more Tracer? What do you guys want to see, and on what map specifically? Now, let's really begin. So we'll start here and just quickly step banana. The pathing that we'll focus on a couple, just in case one of them is denied or shut down for you guys. Also, it's important to know your different options when you play. The first one is kind of this pathing right here. So it goes like this, bless that banana, by the way, over here, and then over here, and then potentially over here, right? Or over here, for that matter, right? That's kind of the first path that we will be taking through the entire map. The secondary path is more something like this, right? Where we'll go directly through hotel and so on, which has its risks. It's also flanks like these. And also, let me see if I just remove the first layer here. It's also, you know, combat flanks, like more of these kind of highly aggressive ones that we'll be taking a look at. Now, I'll break some of these down. For example, I'll break down the first one. Going straight through hotel is something that I know a lot of people like. If you have the mechanics to follow it up with, it is especially a good one, right? If you imagine, you know, the backline of the opposing team is right around here, right? This is right around where the arch is, where a lot of support players will be setting up. Or when the enemy team is, you know, stupid in lower elos and holds super far forward, right? The supports and whatever sometimes would be here, you know, and therefore going straight through hotel will give you immediate access to that backline, right? Which is really great for a Tracer player. It's especially great if you have a coordinated team that can dive, or a couple of friends that can dive, right? Your tanks will be pushing up here, right? Notice they'll be hugging these walls. They're not pathing out in the open, taking 1 billion in poke damage, right? They'll be pathing close to these walls, kind of trying to get damage. And then from here, they can peek and kind of dive this area right here. You go straight through hotel, right? That's a really nice, fast setup with the Tracer. Your tanks go in, drag aggro, you come up behind them, no one is looking at you, and you can empty some mags, and that's a lot of free kills early. However, if you don't have the team to follow up, if you play that elo where no one pushes, this can be a little bit risky. One, because there's people in here, sometimes like a Reaper or something, and second, because, you know, you can be spotted, and that is of course some of the things that we don't like as Tracers, getting spotted in these two choke points here, the doorways, and having to take an engagement head on can be a little bit scary. If you have the mechanics to do that, then that's great. But if you don't, then that's where these high ground mechanics and plays come around. This is more what I like, because sometimes you get those teams that peel their backline, that actually does that, where it's very important if you have a trash team to engage with. So let's really go into Overwatch and really take a look at the other high ground positions. So this is kind of jump. I hope I can kind of manage to do it now with the screen recorder on and everything like that. So a nice way to remember it. I normally just try to do it by muscle memory, but I tried to make a rule for you guys. This kind of bolt thing, you kind of look at that while you stand in front of that, and then you can see this middle one. You put your crosshair right here where it's welded, and then you blink like that, and then you get here, right? That's kind of like a nice way to remember this jump. From here you can go, and then I've actually fucked that up. You can go here. There we go. Right? And this is where this is so strong, because if you notice how close this spread is incredibly tight. I can hug corners, make it very difficult to actually get proper LOS on me, and I can harass a lot of the tanks. Also, you can walk on these kind of downward angle to give you an even like tighter angle, and give you more cover while you shoot. So that's of course, and you get immediate access to everything. You get immediate access to the backline, this ramp area where a lot of supports like to play, and you can actually force By being here, if you have the accuracy, you can actually force the support to play far back over here, making sure that the tanks, if they push past this corner, they can't get any form of healing, any form of support whatsoever, right? And then while pushing those guys back, you can harass these. If the tanks pushes, the support line is exposed to you. Of course, also denying high ground, you know, all the stuff up here. This is another easy way to kind of harass the tanks from behind. And you're also denying this high ground, you know, for Widowmakers and so on. They won't be able to play here as effectively. And of course, one of the other flanking routes is, of course, you can go here. If the payload, this is actually fun. If the payload is very close there, that's actually a very easy way to kind of make them see now and just to jump on it for a second. But of course, this also gives you immediate access to the back line. If for some reason they are pre-firing or looking upwards over here and kind of checking for you constantly, then of course you can always go from behind. And what I like about up there is your team can easily spot you. So you can actually, by Zenyatta's, Anas, even Mercies, can support you quite easily up there and keep you topped off. So even if you take some poke damage, it's kind of not the biggest problem in the world compared to some of the other positions that we'll be talking about. So as I said, hotel, I like to go left just because I don't get spotted as easily, I feel like. But in general, again, as you know and as you've seen a billion times, it's a really easy way to get access to that backline. But a lot of people check it. That's why I like the high ground. So we go here and we path here. First, this is kind of our first checkpoint. We hug this wall, and now we can harass some of the tanks that's up in this choke, close to statue, and we can still get healing. This is kind of the last area where we will get easy healing from our team. In higher elo, because we still can get supported on the high ground. But in lower elos, I know they can be difficult to get supported on the other parts of this high ground. So I normally like to think about this as kind of the last area where you will get support. Or at least easy support, right? But it's pretty good spreads and so on, and it's more just to harass. It's kind of just an entry point. We don't fight here because, again, you can see the line of sight here. We'll get mostly poked down as so fast, and as I said, we won't get healing that much, and we don't want to waste our recall early. Coming up to some of these windows, this is kind of where this high ground shines. So this high ground is one more about being irritating and harassing, kind of saying, okay, if you guys leave your support, I will kill them. If you guys constantly pre-aim and pre-fire the windows, okay, cool, I don't need to fight you guys. I'm dragging attention away from my team, and I'm just really being a constant nuisance. In the end, they have to look away and shoot at my team that is pushing, right? So when my team push, that leaves openings, and then in between fights or whatever, I can still be up here and kind of be irritating and harassing. Right from all these kind of windows. I can always just poke the tanks or whatever and kind of try to build a pulse bump, etc. It's in general a really nice high ground, and what I like about it in the end is this one, where you can kind of drop from here straight into the arch, and then you're right up the backs of the support line, especially if your team pushes in and they get some momentum. You know, the supports are kind of backing up here and they're backing straight up into your guns, right? Which is kind of some of the stuff that I really like about that high ground. Of course, there's a health pack over there, and there's also, when you drop, there's a health pack over there. So you do also have your escape routes. There's also a mega pack in there. So if you get pushed, you can always just kite this way over to the health packs, heal back up, and take another high ground. There's another way to get to this high ground. So you cap first point. Again, you're being irritating, you're harassing, you're kind of just poking, looking for the back line, right? Notice the spread. Notice how close this is, right? You can deal a lot of damage on a Sen or something like that up here. And then you can just move away, right? Again, they have to kind of pre-aim you and kind of constantly look at the windows to be able to hit you. And even then, especially in the lower elos, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually hit you, comparatively to you being, you know, allowed to do this straight down on them, right? Think about the headshot multipliers. Now, second position on this high ground, and this is where I said if you get pushed off on first point and you kind of need to go here to take a health pack, you just go straight up here by taking this staircase, and then you can go straight back up to your high ground position, right? So even though they chase you off it doesn't mean that you're getting off. And remember, if they try to contest you on the high ground, you want the best duels in the game, and you can always run away. You want the best duelists, and you want the best kiters. 1v1, it's really difficult to beat a tracer. So most of the time, you can win the 1v1s if they send someone to high ground, and then that's a free kill. If someone decides to go to high ground to try to put you off it, then that's a free kill. If multiple people come, you can always run away, and that's the whole point of the trace, right? Besides that, second position is this kind of window. Again, you can hug here, and this is where, you know, it becomes you know, you can hug and you can harass tank. But the great thing is, if the tanks try to hold up here, and even worse, they try to kind of push around the corner, you get immediate, again, access to the background. So you're actually forcing the tanks. Let's see, here's the banana. You're actually forcing the tanks that they're not allowed to go up here. They're not allowed to fight over here. Because if they do, their support has to push with them further up here. And that gives you then they will get you straight in the back. And the supports rather want to be fighting you somewhere here where they can kind of try to spot you out. Hopefully with some people that's kind of trying to cover you. But again, it's about this whole thing that if the tanks try to push, you kill the backline, you harass the backline, you stop the backline, so the tanks are pushing alone. You don't all the time need to kill them. You can let them just boycott them. Essentially say, you know, be so scared that, okay, you know, Anas and Yada, if you guys start pushing, I will kill you guys. And therefore, you guys can't push. If they push, they die. And if you don't push, the tanks die. And then they die after, right? And I keep constantly giving them this dilemma. And that they have to work through, right? Again, being irritating is kind of the key. And again, as you can see, the spreads are pretty tight. That's why these angles are pretty nice. If they pre-fire you and they kind of constantly look and harass you and so on and so on, remember, you will be a lot of time, you'll be alone in these positions. Then you go up here and then you just drop behind them. And then you try to attack them from there, right? There are plenty of health packs. There's a health pack over there immediately. And then there's also another health pack over here. So there's plenty of health packs for you. As I said, there's a health pack here, which probably won't be that accessible. Now, if you get here to the third point, this happens a lot, right? The second point, you guys didn't put that last member on the payload, and it barely didn't get capped. So now the enemy team will strike you off, and now you have to attack this second point. The enemy team will most likely be holding here, right? Kind of defending and so on. Then there are a couple of... Then my favorite ways is to, of course, always go from this high ground. I like to go from this high ground. I don't like to blink over. I feel so exposed. So I go here, and then you can go here and get immediately access to the backline. Now remember, don't do like I did there. What you want to do is a lot of time you want to sneak up. Again, you hug this wall, you kind of create some cover for yourself, and now you can go, right? Now you can get straight up into that backline and harass, right, pulse bombs and so on, right? And be a nuisance, right? Again, you get immediate access. This place is rarely covered, and if it is, okay, cool, you can go here, you can blink over here, right? You can fight. There's a health pack over here as well. So you can kind of play this is kind of a really good angle for you to play as well. Just because there are health packs, you can kind of isolate people around the corner. You can take some tools here. Pre-kiting and pre-firing these corners here are a really strong tool for you, which you can use as much as you want. Now, I already showed you kind of the third point. The best way is, that I like at least, is to blink over here and immediately take that high ground from them. And you know, one of the things I want to specify is that you want to do this as early as possible, right? You win... Let me see. If I win first point here, right, or like as soon as I get us one, I want to take this high ground. Boom, I want to get up here, and I want to start harassing. I want to start being irritating, right? I want to be in front of my team. We win first point, I immediately want to get here, right? If the enemy pushes up, right? A lot of time you'll see someone just push up for a little bit of ult charge, especially in low relos where they're not used to the enemy team pushing this aggressively, right? You push up here, you get some frags, you can stagger some kills, right? You want to be ahead of your team, right? You win this fight here, you kind of look at there, you kind of, okay, you look at there, and then you can look here, okay, you want to be here now, right? You want to be that as early and as aggressive as possible, right? Don't wait for your team to push up and so on. You want to get here as fast as possible. Of course, wait out, don't feed, don't get yourself killed, but you want to take these positions so when the fight starts out, you're already on those high grounds. You don't want to be taking that high ground position when the engage is starting, because then your team is fighting 5v6. That is kind of my guide to King's Row. As you guys see, it's a little bit more about the high ground control, and I find this to be a much more fun aspect. You can take these knowledge over to other maps, for example Gibraltar, where it's very much similar on how you take the angles and how irritating you are on this high ground. So I hope that you guys, as always, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and you want more content similar to this. Let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see. As always, guys, please take care of yourself. I love you guys very, very much. Stay positive, and my name has been Jonal. You guys keep the enemy in your crosshair.